Alright guys, my name is Danny Vu here, Ice Team. Today we are here at this spot, and as you can see we got the snow dog here today. But before we got the snow dog here, we definitely double checked the ice. We spunk bar about 100 yards here with me, my team, and buddies here, and we just make sure the ice is really good to even take the snow dog here or any other vehicles or ATV or snowmobile. Make sure the ice is good. And we went over 100 yards and we found out that ice is safe. So here we are with the snow dog, and now we are here at the spot, at this location that we're at. We're targeting pan fishing here today, so we want to make sure that everybody are here safe. Make sure you have the picks, make sure you have floating suit on, make sure you have cleats. That's the number one thing, you don't want to fall and injure yourself. So we are here today and we're going to get on icing, and here we go. Something that I want to let you guys know before we get to the drilling, what I already got going on here. I got some rods and everything ready for you guys set up. I was excited as everybody. I was at home and got everything set up exactly what I'm targeting here. So today for search bait, which I usually do, we got the pin middle head, jointed pin middle head, just something to search bait, hard bait if they're aggressive or not here today. And I also got another noodle rod, with the tungsten, size number 14. Just another plastic on top of it, just in case they get really finicky. Both of these lines are like 2-pound line, and they're all noodle rod, and one has a spring bobber, just in case they get really super finicky. And you know what? Let's get going and start drilling some holes. Today we'll be drilling some holes here. 6 inches doable, and we're gonna get going and drill a lot of holes. It'll come down to we know that ice is safe, and make sure you have cleats, like I said again, because drilling hole on clear ice right now is very slippery and the water's coming out. Today is a little bit windy, today is cold, so you want to have cleats. But then again, the K-drill clamp plate, and with the drill we got a 12, so we're definitely gonna drill a lot of maybe 100 plus holes today. So we're gonna start searching some fish and drill some holes. We're aiming for some weed lines and some flats. I think we're like, maybe right now, if I remember this spot, it's like 14 feet, and there's some coverage here and there, and we'll figure out what we can do and find some fish for you guys to see. Stay tuned. Alright guys, we just literally got a hole drill, and this is gonna be the first hole here. Right now we're trying to figure out what the fish is doing, trying to see if we can get some fish, and also trying to figure out what they're doing. And I just dropped the fish in, so right now I'm just using 2-pound line, noodle rod, trying to figure out what the fish are doing. I'm using jointed pin minnow head, and as I'm doing this, I'm also trying to figure out how the fish are reacting, because this is my first hole, early ice out here, and trying to figure out what they're doing. So hopefully we can get this going on. One of my favorites just early ice is finding the big fish, and also they're actually roaming with the big fish. And best thing about it is just being safe out here and enjoy. But then again, we also got to be precautious of what we have here and what we do in early ice here. I actually got a fish here. Here it comes. So right now the fish is coming up. There's a couple fish here. I'm slowly working at it. Look like the fish are really finicky, like I was thinking, like every year in the early ice they're finicky, so I'm always using 2-pound line, and then hopefully you slowly work it, lift it up a little bit. Oh man, you just gotta play with them, don't scare them, don't jig too hard. If you jig too hard, they're gonna just move, and just slowly work it, play with them. They'll go down with them. They come up, you kind of want to pause it too sometime and see if they'll react to it. Just keep an eye on your unit, and also keep an eye on your noodle rod, because you want that presentation to be perfect with the fish, because you do anything, they'll definitely just be spooked and just run out of your hole. And then hopefully you keep them concentrated in the area, and hopefully there's like more fish will come and look at your bait, and you just gotta make the fish be more competitive with other fish. So one will be a little bit greedy for what I know, be greedy for one another, and the other one will definitely will just take your lure. Whereas at the moment, there's still fish there, and just playing with me, going up and down. And I'm just, you know, pulling my line. Make sure your drag system's good, because you just never know if it's gonna be a big bite or it's gonna be a big fish or a small fish. It doesn't matter. Treat like a fish or like a big fish. But overall, that's what I kind of do. You know, these fish are still here, but I'm just trying to work with it. Hopefully I'll land one for you guys here. Using 2-pound line, what I also noticed that if you use 2-pound line, if you jig pretty hard, it actually will jig pretty hard because the line is super light. So you try not to jig it too hard because, like I said, 2-pound line is super light, and you just want to just slowly work with it. I guess if you work with the noodle rod or a little bit more stiffer rod, you just gotta slow play with it. But when they're finicky, I like to use the noodle rod, so it definitely will notice the fish just take it versus a hard bite. It's just a soft, short bite, and that's pretty much what it does too. But who knows? You just gotta play with it and figure out what they're doing. And I usually start with a 2-pound line, and if they're aggressive, I'll go maybe a 3 or 4-pound line just because they're super aggressive, and you know, it will just hit it. But if they're finicky, I recommend just go with the noodle rod, 2-pound line, have a good set drag, you know, and you'll definitely contact those fish. So here today, I'm going to show you a little bit what I'm using here today. So I'm using 2-pound line, jointed minnow head. As you can see, jointed head and minnow. And then since they're finicky, I kind of just throw a little minnow head on it and just tip it. If they're aggressive, you really don't need no bait on it. But if they're starting to be finicky, you want a little meat on it, you could throw a minnow head, or you could throw a spike or a wax worm and just dangle it right next to the treble hook. And as you can see, it kind of like jointed, so you know, you don't have to work too much to it. So that's one of my go-to lure when I've come out here.
What out there, Danny Boo?
Got a black crappie.
Nice.
There it is. On a pin minnow head. And then, you know, drop it down. Hopefully there's a couple of fish. So if I drop this fish down, what it's gonna do is probably spook a lot of fish. So the key is just, you know, catch that fish. It was a nice. We're gonna keep that for eating here today, you guys. And you know, some majority of the time, if you put the fish release, and what that does, that fish gonna tell his schools or their school, it's like they're frightened, so they'll just start moving away, swimming away. So that's another tip too, if you want to keep on catching fish. You know, we're here today, just our first pan fishing here, and we're going to keep, you know, a good amount for dinner tonight. It's our first early pan fishing here, and these fish at school is just come and go, and if you release one, the other one's gonna they're all just gonna move, swim away. And usually I also find out that if you just keep that fish and you drop your line down, the other fish is going to wonder what happened to that fish, and that fish will definitely come back and hit your lure as well too. But someone called me, so it was a distraction not to put my line down fast enough for the fish to stay where it is. So hopefully they'll come back and I'll catch one. Because that fish was up high, like literally 10 feet. And I was just jigging it, all of a sudden it just came out of nowhere. So drop back down. I mean, the green are flickering, so it's telling me that the fish is still in this area. They're not close. So what I'm doing is just trying to play it at that certain column that you see that's green flickering. So that's a cool thing about it. And playing with your gain kind of help you a little bit too, just to figure out where the fish is at. So it can help you with the cone to expand your surrounding.